Hi there, folks. I wanted to make a video to help emphasize what folks have been saying in the group about the differences between Engrosser script and Copperplate or English roundhand. I personally subscribe to the opinion that what is known as, or what is practiced today as Copperplate is not Engrosser script, and it is not English roundhand. Now, I believe that Copperplate calligraphy, as it is practiced today, is heavily influenced by both of those, where it's written with fewer pen lifts and it's written with an essence of handwriting. There's also elements of Engrosser script in that there are pen lifts in between components like overturn, underturns, oval components, and stuff like that. I can't demonstrate actual English roundhand because I'm untrained in it. Before I studied Engrosser script, before I trained in Engrosser script, I practiced what's more or less the modern take on Copperplate, or that type of pointed pen script. So like, I want to illustrate the difference between Copperplate and Engrosser script, and I'll do a demonstration of Copperplate as I had done it before I learned Engrosser script. So let's start here with an entry stroke. Come on, get going here, like this. Like to make an E, for example, like I have up here, it's done in many fewer strokes than I would if it was in Engrosser script. So we'll just start here at this 50% line, just come up around, shade, exit, come up over to N, complete the shade, and then just go straight into like that. And that's how I would make an EN combination in Copperplate. Whereas in Engrosser script, we start with the entry hairline, shade, come around to complete the top of the E, and notice the inclusion of this small shade as I pull down. And we'd start down here and come up and over, pen lift, and then bring a shade down here like this. Expertly, if I might add, picking up fibers and getting splotches all over the place. And then out of that, we would branch up and over, and then finish right here, and then the exit stroke here. So in Copperplate, we'd have 1, 2, 3 strokes. Here I'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's one of the main differences. Now, as far as letter forms are concerned, so this top W here is one of my favorite ways to make a W, and I've seen that's I guess a popular like English roundhand sort of variant. You can just kind of come, just kind of up over here like this, and then like that. And forgive me, I haven't really worked on like Copperplate style calligraphy in a long time, so please forgive me if my technique is way off. But I can still make that letter form in Engrosser script with the tools that I have. We have this hairline here, shade, hairline, shade, hairline, blind loop, fill, and exit, like that. And some other letter form variations that can be easily swapped between the two. Or actually, tell you what, we'll talk about the S first. Something that's a huge difference I've seen in what is practiced today as Copperplate is when someone makes an S, and I used to do this too before I learned how to make an Engrosser script S, is to like do blind loop, and then you kind of just come down here like this, and you'll notice that the weight of this S is very bottom heavy here. So there's like a lot of weight below this sort of 50% line down here. And that's, you know, what can be understood as a Copperplate S. In Engrosser script, we sort of flip the script. If you take my meaning, we come up here, blind loop, and then what we try to do is we weight that shade high like this, so that if we were to invert it like this, it would have the makings of a minuscule C, like this. That's what we're trying to emulate right there. And then, like these last two examples here, these R's, in the training that I received in Engrosser script, and the exemplar that I tend to work from is this type of R here. We branch out, and there's a terminal on top, and you know it's finished like that. But that doesn't exclude me from being able to make a blind loop. We'll put a line out here, an R that most people are used to seeing, like this. So it all comes down to, in my opinion, the construction of the letter forms as demonstrated by the plates that the other folks have been posting in the discussion. I think it's a wonderful discussion because, you know, while I might have a proclivity to doggone Engrosser script, you know, I started with Copperplate and a love for English roundhand, and both are super viable. They're profitable. I mean, if you can find any kind of work making calligraphy, most people don't even know the difference between an A sender and a D sender, you know, so you can be a studier of either of them, both of them, you know, mix and stuff like that. But it's just the method of construction and other subtle differences that we put into Engrosser script versus Copperplate. So let's take like an L in Copperplate might look a little something like this, like that, sort of like 1, 2, and done. Whereas in Engrosser script, we're going to come up, we're going to draw our A center stem, splice in the loop, and exit hairline, like that. And the same goes for descender loops. And now as I was trained, when we make a descender loop, we just we go all the way around with the loop. So I'll make a G here. In the Zenarian manual, they teach and recommend that you kind of stop like this. Now I have never done this before, so we're going to see this live for the first time, me trying to make a Zenarian loop. So here we go. Ready? I'll move it over here like this. Here we go. Ready? Here we go. So we go down and across like that. So the problem for me is trying to avoid the ink jump here. If you can try to zoom in real close. It's about as close as I can get. Sorry, that ink jump right there, and then trying to figure out exactly where to place this small shade as I'm writing. But in the Engrosser script that I was trained in, we will start with the oval component. So we have entry, complete the oval component, and then we just complete the loop all the way through. So we taper like this, and then come out like this. And then what we do is we add a synthetic shade just real tiny at the bottom there. So that's a big difference between, so like a Zenarian formation where we stop down here at the bottom, and this is in the Zenarian manual if you can find online, download it and check it out, and then coming down this way as opposed to a variation where I was taught to come down taper this way and then just complete the loop and exit, and then add a synthetic hairline. So we're running at about 11 minutes, so I'm gonna go ahead and end this thing. But these are some of the differences that I see between Engrosser script, and hopefully to enforce what's already been said, in that the construction of the two scripts, you know, are pretty different. But like I said, both valid and valuable, and you know, any calligraphy that we're doing to perpetuate the craft and the skill is fantastic. So there's my demonstration. Thanks for staying if you did, and keep getting after it, folks.